Hi again. My video got cut off, but I'm just going to take off where I left off. So I would notice times when I would start to kind of feel on edge of like this shouldn't be this way, or I can't deal with this. And it might be something, like the evening meal getting being really much later than I would want. And I'm talking like midnight sitting down to dinner. Um, and and I might be thinking like I can't handle this. This is intolerable or something like that. And then I would have this saying or this mantra that I would like affirm, which was I can flow with this. I can flow with this and more. And that really helped me because it's true. I can flow with this. We can flow. We're capable people, and eating dinner late is, I know that is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. So that would just remind me like I can flow with this and so much more than this. And other times, you know, I can't even describe what a Moroccan wedding is like. It is amazing. It's it's really really long, the reception of it, and the reception is the main part. It's really long. It begins at maybe 10 p.m. and lasts all through the night. And um and so I remember as I would think about going to this wedding, I thought, well, there's no way I can make it through that. I'll have to sneak away in some way and sleep or something. But I did, and that's partly because it's this total mixture of like amazing, for me, very exotic and exciting times of musicians and dancing and beautiful outfits and just exhilaration and energy, and then times of sort of waiting and sitting and things like that. So it's this total mix. And there too it might be like, wow, I can't believe it's 6 a.m. and here we are, continuing to be at a wedding. And I can flow with this. I can flow with this and more. And one thing as I'm talking about this, I guess I feel a little uncomfortable because I definitely don't want to um, present any of this as a hardship, right? I mean, I feel happy to have family, in different places of the world, and I feel really grateful to be able to go and visit. And I the last thing I want to do is make it seem like cultural differences are some kind of a hardship, that I have to be like, yeah, good job, Katie, for dealing with that. I don't want it to seem like that because it isn't like that. It's what I guess I want to pinpoint is that for me, um, this thing about flow is the cultural aspect of it. Um, for me, all it does is just really shine a spotlight and really make it clear about, yes, there's difference here. This is a different, totally different place than I normally live. It's a lot of the things about it are different than the way I'm accustomed to uh, being with and living with. And can I flow with that? It cannot be okay to go with, um, a different expectation, or really just a not knowing. That's one thing about being in another culture. You know that, there's so much you don't know about what's going to happen next, or about the whole context of it, the language of everything that's going on around you. And so it really just spotlights this more elemental thing that isn't about Morocco or the United States or anything like that. It's about, um, there's my expectations or my preferences of the way I want things to be, and then there's real life, and reality of what is unfolding, and those two things may be really really different. And we usually have a choice. There can be this inclination to get really, really tight about things of like, no, and that's where the shoulds come in. It shouldn't be this way. When culture shock happens, a lot of times it's this attachment to um, that the way I grew up is how things should be, and that this is not right, and 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 that exists beyond culture, right? To these moments of our lives where things are unfolding and we feel like, hang on, I've lost the control here. Things are happening more quickly or more slowly or just differently than I would have imagined. And then what happens next? And so I mentioned a choice, and the choice seems to be um, really at the core of mindfulness, a mindful way of being in the world, which is accepting things as they are rather than holding to some really unreal imagining of how you wanted them to be or how you thought they might be. And this way of being, this acceptance, leads to more peace. I know that to be true, um, partly through my different experiences in Morocco. When I was first there, I hadn't done any work with mindfulness, or really thought about any of this kind of flow or acceptance. And I often would get really upset. I'd really get kind of clenched around what I wanted or what I needed or something like that. And I definitely suffered because of that. And this trip was different. It I I really feel like I got an appreciation for this work around flow. And what I find helpful about it is bringing it into other situations now. So now, for me, I back home, and there's this mix of sadness and nostalgia of loved ones that are far away, and also this kind of peace and happiness about settling into to my life and my routines again. And at the same time, I really want to bring this lesson about flow, because again, even if I'm in my world, my regular life, um, that is no guarantee that events will unfold in the way that I expect or that I want. And it is no guarantee that things even should unfold the way I want. Who am I to say? And so bringing this lesson with me of flow, and of really assurance um, that I have the capability to flow, and so do you. It's a choice. It's this noticing when the clenching happens, when we feel like, I can't tolerate this, or I can't deal with this, and then stepping again into, but is that really true? Maybe I can. I always feel the need to kind of step on the other side of this, and just note that we're not talking about tolerating things that are wrong or unethical, or immoral. That's not what I'm advocating here. It's not a passivity, but it's letting go of that kind of useless fighting against what is already occurring, and not getting so tied to our own perspective, our own judgments and expectations. So, if you would, if you'd find it helpful, I'd invite you to join me for a short meditation